The topics are RC4 algorithm and key distribution. First one is RC4. So RC4 is a stream cipher, and it should have the variable length of key algorithm, and the particular algorithm encrypts one byte at a time. That's why the cipher is called a stream cipher. And the input of key is generated by some pseudo random generator without the knowledge of input key. So the output of that particular generator is called as key stream generator, and it perform XOR operation with the plaintext block. Consider the example, 8 bit of plaintext block and 8 bit of key. It is generated by pseudo random generator, and it performed XOR operation, normal XOR operation. The XOR operation result is 1 XOR 0 is 1 and 0 XOR 1 is 1. Otherwise, for 0 XOR 0 is 0 and 1 XOR 1 is 1. So the same XOR operation for encryption and decryption is performed. So there are two algorithms. One is key generation algorithm and key scheduling algorithm. So in the word sense, the first algorithm is used to generate a key for performing encryption process. Second one is we have to schedule the key, in which and what time the key is to be modified or key is to be altered for the particular encryption process. That is known as key scheduling algorithm. So here the key length is varied from 1 to 256 byte, and it is also initialized in a particular state vector, that is S of 0 to S of 255. S is state vector. So key scheduling algorithm is nothing but here we are going to create one temporary vector capital T, because key scheduling means it has to be increased or it has to be changed. So that's why we are creating one temporary vector, that is capital T, for setting the entries from 0 to 255 in ascending order. So this is an algorithm here. In the first point, we are setting the value from 0 to 255 and assigning S of I is equal to I. S is nothing but state array, and T is a vector value, temporary vector, which is assigned to the particular key value and performs modular arithmetic, which varies from 0 to 255 to k minus length. K is nothing but key value, and we have to subtract it from that length value. And again we have to introduce T temporary vector to the produce the initial permutation of S, and we can rearrange the algorithm, that is J is equal to 0 for the same operation for, and I varies from 0 to 255, and J is assigned to J plus S of I and T of I. T is temporary vector, S is state array, and J is the another input value, and which are performing addition operation and with the modular arithmetic 256, and finally we have to swap the value. Here the swap operation is used for key scheduling algorithm, because each and every step the key value should be altered, then only the attack is not happened. So here the swap operation is performed. So then next algorithm is pseudo random generation algorithm. In the first slide we saw the key values random generator. Key values generated from random generator by using pseudo random generation algorithm. So this is an algorithm. Here also there are two variables used. One is I and j. It is initialized with the value of 0, and the condition is true. The following operations to be performed. I is assigned to I plus 1 mart 1 256, because key length vary from 0 to 255. So here we are using modular arithmetic value is 256, and I getting increased from 1, and j is assigned to j plus s of I, because I value can be stored into some particular state array. That's why j is equal to j plus s of I, and finally we have to swap s of I and s of j, and again we are taking one temporary vector that performs both state array value with modular arithmetic operation, and finally we are assigning that particular temporary vector into key value. So the above operations to be performed to produce a random key. So the S of T is assigned to K. K is nothing but key. So this algorithm is used to generate the random key. Then only the attacker didn't hack the particular data within a short period of time. So this is all about RC4 algorithm. It is a stream cipher and variable length key algorithm. And the last topic is key distribution. In the word sense, key is, we all know key is a value or information which is mainly used for encryption decryption process, and which is we should know only sender and receiver. So this is the key infrastructure. Initially the key is generated, and after the generation of key, the particular key is established between the sender and receiver, and the key can be stored in sender and receiver part without knowing the third party. And finally the key is used for encryption process and decryption process. After that the key can be involved in acknowledgement process, and finally key has been destructed because the same key is not used again, so the key has been destructed. So this is the key infrastructure, and the key is public. So, for symmetric encryption, the two parties can exchange the same key for both encryption and decryption process. And the strength of any cryptographic system with the key distribution techniques, which is used to delivering a key to two parties who wish to exchange the data without allowing others to see the key. For example, considering two parties A and B, sender and receiver, the key distribution can be achieved in number of ways as follows. The A can select a key and deliver it to B publicly. And the second concept is the third party can select the key and deliver it to A and B. Third condition is if A and B have previously and recently used a key, and one party can transmit the new key to another encrypted using the old key. The final point is if A and B each has an encrypted connection to the third party C, then the third party C can deliver a key on the encrypted links to A and B. So these are the possible combinations to transfer the key between both the sender and receiver A and B. So initially the data is in the whole format. So we are applying the cryptographic production, so we can compress the data by using some session keys. After that again we are using master keys, the data has to be compressed. So these are the key hierarchy and key distribution scenario. Here each and every individual user shares a unique master key with the key distribution center is called as KDC, key distribution center. So the concept is we have to distribute the key. So there is one center to distribute the key, that is called as key distribution center. So you can see this diagram, there are two participants, one is initiator and another one is responder. A is initiator and B is responder. And one more point, KDC, key distribution center. The diagram itself you can see the numbering order. So in the number order only the transaction or transmission to be performed. The number 1 initiator send some information to KDC, so retrieve some key information. So it send along with IDA is nothing but identifier of A, and IDB is nothing but identifier of B, and N1 is a particular information which is needed by the initiator. So the number 2, so after getting some information, after getting some request from initiator A, the KDEC send some reply to initiator A, that is number 2. Encrypted E off. So every time after some request getting from somebody, the responded encrypt the information which is sent by the particular request person. So encryption of K suffix A is nothing but key value of that particular initiator, and the identifier A, IDA, IDB, N1. So the information is sent from KDC to initiator A. Then the third function, the initiator A send the particular information about A to responder B, that is encryption of KB. B is the key of B, and KS is the secret key, and IDA. After that the responder encrypted that particular session key, encryption of KS comma N2, and finally initiator sends some acknowledgement, that is encryption of KS comma F of N2. That means the initiator performs some function on the particular information N2. So this is the concept of key distribution by using key distribution. The user A wished to establish a connection with B and requires a one-time session key to protect the data transmitted over the connection. So A has a master key that is named as KA and known only to itself and the KDC, key distribution sender. Similarly, B shares the master key to KB with the KDC. The following steps to be performed for the key distribution between A and B. So initially A send the request to KDC for the session key. So the message includes the identity of A, IDA and B and a unique identifier N1 for this transaction, which is referred to as a nonce. The nonce may be a timestamp and a counter or a random number, right? So the second point is after getting the request from A, the KDC responds with a message of encrypted using KA, and A is the only one who can successfully read the message, and A knows that is originated at the KDC. So thus A can verify that its original request was not altered before reception by the KDC. And because of the nonce that this is not a replay of some previous request. In addition with this, the one-time session key KS and the identifier of A. The next step is using the newly session key for encryption. B sends nonce N2 to A. N2 may be timestamp or counter or any value, right? And final one is also using KS. K is session key. A responds with F of N2 and F is the function that performs some transformation on N2, adding one value to the already presented N2 value. So these are the steps to be performed in the key distribution between initiator and responder by using key distribution center, KDC. So the next one is decentralized key control. It requires that each and every system can be able to communicate in a secure manner with all potential partner end system for the purpose of session key distribution, right? So consider there are two participants, one is initiator and another one is responder B. So here the session key may be established between both A and B by following the steps. So initially A issues a request to B for a session key with the information of identifier of A and nonce N1. After that, B responds with the message that is encrypted using the shared master key with include the identifier of A and identifier of B, the value of N1, N2. And finally, A using the session key and A returns the value of F of N2 dB. F is the function and adding some more information which is perform some operation on N2 which is sent to responder B. So this is simple secret key distribution. Here the sender A wants a public key of A, sends a public key of A and with an identifier of that particular sender with recipient B. So here B performs some encryption operation on the public key of A and with the session key KS. So this is the concept of man in the middle attack. Here Bob is the sender and Alice is the receiver. So here Bob wants to send some information to Alice, but the man in the middle, Darth, attacker or intruder or cryptanalyst, he can retrieve the information that is sent from the Bob and modifies the particular message, and he can send the information to Alice which can be pretended from Bob. This attack is known as man in the middle attack. And this is the concept of key distribution with the confidentiality and authentication. Initially, the initiator encrypted the public key value of B and along with the identifier of information and nonce value N1. And the responder B is encrypted the public key value of A with N1 and N2. So finally, initiator encrypted the value of public key of another responder B with the value of N2 and also finally initiator performs some function on N2 and that is encrypted by using the value of public key of B, and also the initiator send the private key value of A with the session key to the responder B, because the private key's value is known only to the sender and receiver. Public key's value is known to everyone. So the distribution of public keys have some consideration, that is publicly announcement. The key has been publicly announced and there is some publicly available directory and some public key authority, and the final one is public key certificates. So the first one is public announcement is nothing but The key is public, which means the key is available to anyone or any recipient, so anyone can easily access the easily access the public key, because which is available to all. The second one is publicly available directory. It can obtain greater security because there is one directory. So each and everyone have to register their key in a directory. So for their purpose, they can retrieve the particular key from that directory by using some information. So it can be a greater security, because by registering keys with the public key directory is more secure. So the directory having some properties, it contains name and public key entries, and the participant register with the security, and a participant can replace key at any time, and the directory is publicly available, periodically published, and it is not private, and it is publicly available, and directory can be accessed electronically, so then there is no forgery is to be present. Third one is public key authority. So it improves the security by tightening the control over distribution of keys from directory, because each and every directory has some properties to retrieve the particular information from directory. So it is more secure because each and every person should register their particular key to the directory, which means each and every individual have some authority to retrieve the data from the directory. So public key directory is very authenticated and confidentiality. So this is the public key authority. So here initiator requests some information to public key authority. So the public key authority send some information to initiator A with the encryption process, that is the public key value of responder and the private key value of initiator, and then the initiator encrypted the value of public key value of B with the information of identifier, and again B sends some request to public key authority to get the information of initiator A. So the public key authority send some key information to responder B. So the responder B send the public key value of A to initiator A with the encryption process, and finally initiator A send the public key value of responder B with encryption process. So the last one is public key certificates. So here the certificates allowed the key exchange without the real-time access. So the certificate binds identity to each and every individual key, with all content signed by the trusted third party is known as certificate authority CA. So it can be verified by anyone who knows the public key authorities. So this is the concept of certificate authority. The concept here is each and every individual go to the certificate authority and register their own public key and get some certification. Then anyone want the particular key, then they can go to the certificate authority and request some information. Then they can easily retrieve the particular data from certificate authority. So initially the sender A send their own public key PUA, and A wants to register their own key in the certificate authority. So the sender A send the information PUA to certificate authority. So the certificate authority send the certificate of that particular sender A information to A. So the certificate is nothing but CA is equal to encryption of PR authority is nothing but the private key value and time 1 and identifier of A and public key value of A. So these are the information to be presented in the certificate. So CA is nothing but certificate. Then the sender A send the certificate of A value to the responder B, and B also, and simultaneously B also register their public value to the certificate authority. So he send some information about their own self PUB to certificate authority. So the certificate authority send some certificate information CB to B. So this certificate contains the information of private key value and identifier of the particular B and public key value of B. And then B also send their own certificate to A, that is CB. So this is all about key distribution.